Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
And hello, everybody. Happy Festivus to you. We shall begin the airing of grievances in mere moments. Great to have you with us. I am your host, Todd Starnes, as we broadcast border to border, coast to coast, across the fruited plain. A lot happening today, and we're also on the lookout for any sorts of breaking news that might be out there. But I want to start with a bit of Yuletide cheer, if you will, involving Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the governor of the great state of Arkansas. And I've been a big fan of Sarah's for many, many years. You know, we met back, I guess, I think she was still in college. I think she was still in college. And her dad, Mike Huckabee, is a very dear friend of mine. And we were on the campaign trail up in New Hampshire. And I remember it being bitterly cold. And I had Fox News sent me up there. I was one of the political reporters at the time. And they flew me up to, I remember you have to fly into Boston, and there was so much snow, the Manchester airport couldn't get to Manchester, so I had to rent a car and then drive from Boston to New Hampshire, which is a beautiful state, a little off-putting to see all the moose crossing signs, Dylan. Here we have, deer and, well, the possums, it's a free-for-all, but up there you've got moose. And you don't want to be messing around with the moose. Those things are like big as tanks.
They want to step on you.
The Ford F-150 moose, they're the worst. So anyway, I'm up in New Hampshire. We're on the campaign trail. It was primary day it was the Republican primary, and was it Mitt Romney? It had to be Mitt Romney and his crew was there. Nobody was paying attention to him, right? Because we were freezing cold. You're not allowed to go inside the polling station, so you're outside. So here comes and John McCain's people were there. Here comes Mike Huckabee and his crew. Dylan, they got out of their vans, and all of us in the press corps, where our teeth are chattering. It's that cold. Snow everywhere. Snow coming down. And all of a sudden, we saw big things of steam coming out of the vehicle. And Huckabee and everybody on his crew, they had big boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts and giant jugs of hot coffee and cocoa. And I'm just going to tell you, and I'm not proud of this, I don't even know what Huckabee said. He got great media coverage. That day, everybody gave, even NPR. I'm telling you, they knew how to work a crowd. It really is that simple. A Krispy Kreme donut and a hot cup of cocoa, you're going to get good press coverage. It's really that simple. So anyway, got a chance to meet Sarah. She was one of the ones that was filling everybody's cocoa mugs, and just a great person. She did a terrific job when Donald Trump named her press secretary. And I'm just going to say this. I still believe that she is one of the greatest White House press secretaries that we've had. She was a ferocious warrior for the conservative cause. And by the way, the media was just so ugly to her. They went after her appearance, her looks, her weight, what she wore, and it was so bad. I mean, you can't imagine just being pummeled every single day for the way you look. And that will wear on a person. I don't care who you are. It just, you're human. And, not everybody's built like Trump, and so one day Trump, actually pulled her aside and really just gave her great positive affirmation and encouragement. And she wrote about that in a book, and it really told me a lot about Donald Trump's character as well. But if you remember, Sarah Sanders and her family were targeted. She and her husband were out for dinner with friends in, I believe it was Alexandria, Virginia, at a restaurant. And the owner of the restaurant came over and said, "You're not welcome to eat here," and made them leave. Can you imagine? I mean, it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. And honestly, Sarah is a gracious woman. We would have had a biker brawl on the way out. I would have grabbed like some salt shakers, the silverware. I would have taken some souvenirs with me on the way out. But that's just me. That's how I built. But Sarah, she didn't want to bring any embarrassment upon the administration. But she is a fighter, and she never backed down. She always went toe-to-toe with the press, and I really, really, truly appreciated that about Sarah. So anyway, she's also a Christian woman, and she's been doing a terrific job as governor of Arkansas. And it turns out that she has run afoul of the atheist group known as the Freedom from Religion Foundation. They're based in Wisconsin, and these people are an anti-Christian hate group. And they use the courts to wage lawfare against average conservative folk, and especially the Christian community. So anyway, Sarah Sanders the other day posted a proclamation declaring the reason why government offices would be closed over the Christmas holiday. So they're closed Christmas Day and the day after Christmas, and she said it's because this is the time of year that we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Well, the atheist went bonkers, and they said, "You can't say that. You can't mention Jesus. How dare you?" So anyway, these godless heathen atheists, they sent this nasty letter to Sarah Sanders and they demanded that she remove the name of Jesus from her proclamation. They wanted her to actually rescind the proclamation celebrating the reason for the season. Now, let me stop here for just a moment. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter that Christmas is the reason that Jesus is the reason. That does not matter. Christmas is a federal holiday. It is a federally recognized holiday. It is the law of the land. And the atheists know this. The Freedom from Religion Foundation firing off a nasty letter. State offices are not churches, and gubernatorial proclamations are not sermons. The governor is free to practice her religion privately, but she may not use the authority of the state to promote Christian doctrine as official government speech. You can smell them from here, can't you? Can you smell that? Just go outside, take a whiff. You catch that little foul odor? Yeah, that's coming from Wisconsin. And it has nothing to do with the lactose intolerant people. It's the atheist. They smell. We do not. We just have hygiene problems. So anyway, they're demanding that she... Jeez. That may have been over the line. So they're demanding that she take Jesus out of her official Christmas proclamation. What's wrong with these people? We're atheists. So anyway, they're going on about how she is basically forcing people to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, which she is not doing. So look, any other person here, they would surrender. But Sarah Sanders said, nope, we're not doing that. As a matter of fact, she fired back a letter to the atheist and in a very polite way told them where they could stick their complaint. They could just stuff it in their Christmas stocking. And she's not going to do it. And I am so excited because what I see in Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I see a fighter, and I see Donald Trump. When I see Sarah Sanders and the way she's governing, the way she's leading, she's standing up to the atheist, the godless heathen atheist, I see Donald Trump. That's what I see. Somebody who is actually taking a stand and who is not afraid to say what needs to be said. And I think that's a wonderful thing, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to say thank you, Governor Sanders. I know that she has people listening to the program. We've got a lot of listeners in Arkansas. But the days of the atheists bullying Christians in Arkansas, those days are over. And I hope they're over in every other red state in America. I truly do. All right, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Again, that's 260-5926. We have a great show lined up for you, a lot of great content, a lot of great stories to share with you. We're going to be taking your calls as well. Hang tight, everybody. This is The Todd Starnes Show.
You're with Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile's been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
I get it, Todd. You know, I've lost 40 pounds with Calitrin, too. When you start waking up feeling better than you have in a while, you're losing the inches, the pounds, you're seeing that scale move. That's what Calitrin does. It helps you get you back. You know, we get testimonials all the time. Had one just yesterday come in from Kathy W. She said, I've been taking Calitrin almost a month. I'm down 3 pounds already, sleeping so much better. Saw a comment on Facebook this morning, too. Robert said he's used Calitrin for years, on and off, whenever he needs to lose the weight. Calitrin is tried. It's true. It's trusted, and it's good for you. So get ready to lose the weight this year. Get the New Year's resolution goals going right now with our big Christmas sale. Go to toploss.com. You'll see that there. That's toploss.com.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code Todd.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Buenos nachos, amigos. Si tú es illegal alien in America and you decide to el self-deporto, el señor Trump y el Uncle Sam will give you el $3,000 Americanos. That is mucho dinero, amigos. It's like trillions of pesos. You will be el millonario like Señor Trump. You can buy half of Mexico and have all the tacos and margaritas you want. So this Christmas, remember to el self-deporto, reunite with your familia, and make el America great again. Muchas gracias, amigos. Y Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, Mr. President. This is interesting. What is it he said? El deporto? I didn't realize that was the Spanish word for deportation.
This reminds me of when my grandfather would go to like any Mexican restaurant and he would try to like talk. Speaking Spanish.
Your uncle, yes, my Uncle Jerry, your grandpa, he used to try to speak Spanish, and and it sounded just like this.
Just like that.
Buenos nachos tacos.
Oh, man.
El Deporto. Yeah, have we confirmed that was actually President Trump?
I don't think we've confirmed that or not.
Can we get on that? You never know with AI. We want to make sure that we're being real with the audience. So you don't want somebody to pull a fast one on us, right? You don't want to do that. All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Happy to have you with us today. By the way, President Trump making a huge announcement yesterday. These battleships, and they're calling them Trump-class battleships. They are. I loved the president's press conference yesterday. Was pretty brilliant. But what I loved about the whole thing was he said these things are going to be massive and they will be aesthetically pleasing. So they'll be good to look at. So you're right before they blow you to smithereens. The Venezuelans were like, wow, that's a very lovely. Look at the curves and the architecture and then kablooey. So President Trump, he's in a good mood. He was in a good mood yesterday. Okay, by the way, over on our Facebook Live, they just released the official White House portrait of the Christmas portrait of President Trump and the First Lady. May I just say, isn't it nice to know that we have a classy president and First Lady in the White House? Is this not, I mean, the building itself, the decorations are elegant. You don't have any, like, drag queens running around. You don't have any half-naked transgender people running around with all their private parts hanging out. Isn't it nice? And you know that our First Lady is a lady. Isn't that nice? I love that. So head over to our Facebook page if you want to check that out. And no, I'm not saying, I'm just saying she's a lady. She's classy, Dylan. That's all I'm trying to say. In the meantime, we have a poll going over on our private fan group, the Todd Stearns Radio Show group. And this really was this poll was birthed out of what happened over the weekend at AmFest at the Turning Point USA crowd. And we've got many of you, almost 4,000 so far have voted. And I have a question for you. We're going to conduct on this program today, we're going to conduct our very first Todd Stearns presidential straw poll. So we're going to give you an opportunity through the course of our program to tell us who you like for 2028. Now, Turning Point USA announced yesterday they're all in for J.D. Vance, that he's going to be their guy. They're going to be out there campaigning, and they're going to be exerting all of their power, their vast power, to getting J.D. Vance elected in 2028. So my question to you is, who do you like? Who would you like to support in 2028 for the presidential election? So I had to narrow this down, but there may be a name that you don't hear that you think we should include. And here are the names. Do you support J.D. Vance? Do you like Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State? Do you like Glenn Youngkin, Brian Kemp, Ron DeSantis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Don Trump Jr., or not ready to make a decision? Now, I will tell you, based on our polling results, J.D. Vance is the clear-cut leader right now. J.D. Vance has 79% of the vote. Marco Rubio coming in at second with 10%, which is sort of reflective of the Turning Point USA straw poll they did. But again, we haven't really polled our listening audience, and we'd love for you to call in and let us know, who do you like? You know, if you're already starting to think about 2028, who do you think the guy ought to be or the gal ought to be? Brian Kemp, by the way, getting 1%, Ron DeSantis 4%, and not ready to make a decision coming in at 6%. Don Trump Jr., Glenn Youngkin, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders getting nothing, 0%, no votes in our Todd Stern Show straw poll. So we'll be taking your calls on this through the show. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. I wanted to play this audio from Nicki Minaj, who is the latest darling of the conservative movement. And first, I'm glad when people convert. I'm glad when liberals have seen the light and they realize and they get to see the left for who they truly are. It is, and there is a darkness. And much like, it's almost like scales are over their eyes. And then once they have been exposed to the conservative message, well, the scales fall off, and those who were blind can now see, and they can see that the conservative way of life is the American way of life. So Nicki Minaj made her big debut at AmFest, and people, they gave her a huge welcome. And when we come back from the break, we're going to play some audio from Nicki Minaj because she had a lot to say. And look, she's a young conservative, and I think we need to give her some space to figure out what she believes. And I know that there are probably going to be missteps along the way, but I'm really encouraged by the fact that we've got another Hollywood celebrity that is now going to be, a gun-toting, Bible-clinging American patriot. And I think that's wonderful. All right, we're going to take a break. We are going to go to the phones. We want to know, we're just conducting a straw poll today. Who do you like for 2028 as they're already starting to put together plans for the presidential election? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Want to remind you, head over to toddsterns.com, folks, and if you haven't done so, go check out our free newsletter. We have a great podcast, free resources for you. And we have, get this, over 250,000 people now subscribe to that newsletter. Wow, that's pretty tremendous. All right, hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? we push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. And welcome back, everybody. Merry Christmas to you. It is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Let's go to our phone lines. Houston, Texas. Don is listening to us on Patriot Talk 920 today. Hi, Don. What's on your mind?
I want to cast a vote for Glenn Youngkin.
Glenn Youngkin. All right, so this is good to know. I like Glenn Youngkin. I thought he did a terrific job in Virginia, but I'm curious, why do you like Youngkin?
I just don't trust J.D. Vance. I wouldn't let him be dog catcher.
What is it about J.D.? So you don't trust J.D. Why is that?
I don't trust anybody with a beard.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
No,
I don't like J.D. Vance.
All right, well,
I'm a Glenn Youngkin I'm a Glenn Youngkin fan.
What if Glenn Youngkin grows some facial hair?
I'll go shave it off for him.
All right. So, no, in all seriousness, though, so with J.D. Vance, is there something specific you just don't like? Are you a little suspicious of the guy?
I just don't like all the promotion around him.
It does.
I don't go for all the promotion, all the marketing. There's something phony about him.
It does seem like they are going through this, I don't know, coronation process, 3 years too early, in my estimation.
Yeah.
It's
just a gut feeling I've got about him. I like Glenn Youngkin.
Glenn is a winner. He put together a great campaign, and he was able to win in what was then a very, blue state, and turned it around. And I like the guy. Is he, and the problem's going to be, Don, and I appreciate the call. The problem that the Republicans we're going to have is you're not going to be able to have a repeat of Donald Trump, right? The enthusiasm, the chaos, the brilliant chaos. Yeah, you're not going to be able to repeat that. That's over. That was a special moment, and it is still a special moment in time. So whoever is going to be next is going to be very different, and it's going to be a bit of a shock, I think, to the Republican psyche, knowing that the next person is not going to be Donald Trump. Now, with J.D. Vance, here's what I'd like to see out of J.D. Vance over the next couple of years. I want to see him grow into becoming a leader. I want to hear more about his platform. I mean, he said all the right things at AmFest, all the right things. He delivered a terrific speech. It really was. And if nothing for me, and I know there were so many different things he talked about, but for me, this was the most important. Cut number 3.
But I want to say something here. The only thing that has truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation. Now, I want to be explicit because, of course, the fake news media will twist everything that I say. I'm not saying... Do you feel about them the same way I do? I'm not saying you have to be a Christian to be an American. I'm saying something simpler and truer. Christianity is America's creed. The shared moral language from the Revolution to the Civil War and beyond. Across that history, our country's major debates have always centered on how we could best as a people please God. That creed, think about it. That creed motivated our understanding of natural law and rights, our sense of duty to one's neighbor, the conviction that the strong must protect the weak, and the belief in individual conscience. Even our famously American idea of religious liberty is a Christian concept.
If you are going to be an effective president, you have to understand this one thing, that America was founded as a Christian nation. And if you do not understand that idea, you can't get anything right, because that's the foundation. That's the foundation from which freedom and liberty spring and grows from, is this idea that we are, and our founding fathers meant for us to be, a Christian nation. That's what it's all about here, folks. That's what it's all about. You know, this TPUSA poll, they did a big straw poll that Vance won, but there were some other questions here. And they asked these young people, and we're talking about 30,000 respondents to this survey, okay? 30,000. Now, I found this to be interesting. First of all, they discovered that Islam is the most radical, is the most important issue facing voters, radical Islam. The other component of this is that a majority of the people at Turning Point USA believe that Israel is our top ally. Now, according to the reporting here, and this is from the Jerusalem Post, 33.3% described Israel as a top ally, 53.4% viewed Israel as one ally of many, 13% did not view Israel as an ally. So what does that tell us? And all of this information coming from Andrew Colvat. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that those young people are not listening to Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens or Nick Fuentes. That by and large, and it's so easy to fall into this trap, you have to understand that social media is not real life. That a lot of these young people, especially Gen Zers, I think a lot of folks take them for granted and they do not give them the respect that they deserve. Because Gen Z, these are kids that are thinkers. These are kids that just don't go along to get along. We're not talking about lemmings here. So they're listening to Tucker. They listen to what Candace and Megyn Kelly and all the others have to say, but they're making up their own minds. They're doing their own research. They're doing their own homework, which is what we encourage you to do. That is a foundational issue for us as a radio show. Do your homework. Listen to what I have to say, but go and explore, investigate, do your homework. And that's what they did. And they came away thinking, you know what? Israel is our ally. And the reality is that radical Islam is indeed the number one threat to our nation. Now, I want to ask you, as an audience, and we've got a vast audience all over this nation, so I'm just curious, what do you see as the greatest threat, the main threat facing America today? What do you think that threat is? You know, I put this out on one of our social media pages a few days ago, and it was not even close. It was radical Islam. Because people are seeing what's happening in various parts of the country. When the Muslims take the majority, they take control, and they immediately start to marginalize everybody else. And we've seen this across Michigan and Minnesota, and we're seeing it in other communities now where Islam is becoming the majority religion. Again, what Charlie Kirk said is true. Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. So we're going to take your calls on that. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Fascinating polling results. And I am not terribly surprised at all. I will say this, Israel as an ally, I think that sends a message to all of those within the Republican Party, because Megyn Kelly yesterday said something that I found fascinating. Megyn Kelly said that moving forward, young Republicans are not going to be supportive of Israel. I find that hard to believe. I truly do. But we'll take your calls on this, 901-260-5926. Again, 901-260-5926. This story just coming in from Fox. The White House says they will not be easing up immigration enforcement during Christmas. So the Catholic bishops of Florida made an appeal yesterday asking the administration to stop immigration enforcement for the Christmas holidays. The Archbishop of Miami, Thomas Winsky, said the border's been secure. The initial work of identifying and removing dangerous criminals has been accomplished to a great degree. Over 500,000 people have been deported this year. Nearly 2 million more have voluntarily self-deported. At this point, I'm reading from the letter they wrote to Trump. At this point, the maximum enforcement approach of treating irregular immigrants en masse means that now many of these arrest operations inevitably sweep up numbers of people who are not criminals, but just here to work. What is wrong with you people? The bishop goes on to say, Archbishop, it should be noted, a significant majority of those detained in Alligator Alcatraz have no criminal background. Yes, they do. Let's review this and let's try to simplify it for the bishops. Illegal immigrant. Illegal Illegal means el criminalito. I think that's the Spanish word for it. I'm just telling you. There is, I get this. There is a part of you as a Christian, and you're like, well, maybe we should just put a pause. We can't do that. We are on a ticking clock right now. Every single second that goes by is a second that we're not going to get back. Every single illegal has to go. It really is that simple. And I was talking to somebody about this last night. I was at a Christmas party in Germany. Had a great party, by the way. I'm not a big party guy, but I went to this party. And I'm talking to somebody, and we were talking about deporting everybody, why everybody has to go. Even the guy or gal that's been here 25, 30 years, and they're hardworking, and they've got a family. They're just not legal. Here's the problem with that. How have they been getting paid? How have they been paying their taxes? How did they buy their house? So in a lot of these cases, they've been breaking multiple laws. So it's not just a simple thing about coming across the border illegally, which is bad enough, but you're breaking the law on top of that. So everybody's got to go. I'm not saying you can't come back, but you got to go and then come back the right way. Let's go to Vera in Georgia, listening to us on WDUN. Hi, Vera. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking, Vera.
And Merry Christmas, so I don't forget.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I'm thinking about the poll that was taken at Turning Point, and I do not think that Vance would be out of the running, but if Marco, and I saw the news where Rubio said he would not run against Vance, but if he did, I would vote for Rubio. And I am a Trumpster all the way. And I would like to say this for us to think about. If Vance would be the leader, he would do well to pick Rubio for his vice. Because anybody knows, if you don't know about foreign affairs, we are gone. We are lost. Look at what Trump has done with foreign affairs. And Rubio has been right under his wing. We've got to have Rubio in there at a heightened position as vice if Vance runs. The other issue that I wanted to mention was about Islam. Until we can cure the ignorance, and that's not an ugly word, that means ignore. That means you just ignore. You have an ignorance. Until we can do away with the ignorance of the American people, we will never destroy Islam in our country. It was ignorance of the people up north who let those people in. It was ignorance of the people on the street. Jesse Waters does it all the time. He asks questions about the news. People don't know anything that they need to know. We have got to get our people over ignorance. Now, I don't know how we're going to do it, but you can destroy Islam all over the place, and the ignorant American will let them in. So these are just heavy on my heart.
Vera,
I pray every day.
I love what you're saying here, and that is so true. And again, this goes back to the education system. And I want to, one of the components we don't talk much about is this dumbing down, the intentional dumbing down of our kids. Because it's easy to control stupid people. And by stupid, maybe I should say ignorant, Vera. It's easier to control ignorant people who may not understand the laws, may not understand their rights under the laws. And they're also being force-fed this false narrative about what Islam is really all about. Vera, there are actually textbooks. There are textbooks that they're using in our schools. And they're telling the kids that the Muslims never invaded any nations. They were welcomed in. They were asked to come in and take over the country, the nations. I mean, this is radical propaganda, which is why I think a lot of young people just don't have a clue about how dangerous Islam is.
I think you've nailed it, too. And I think you know it, and I've heard you speak on it before, but we've got to make an issue of it.
Yeah.
We've got to make it an issue, not just something we talk about, but it has to become an issue like a girls and boys bathroom. And, I mean, we've got to really step out there on this thing. I don't know how we're going to do it, but God knows I would play a leading role in this area of Georgia if somebody would set up a program or give me an idea of what to do and how to do it.
Vera?
I'm telling you, Todd, it's huge, and we'll never make it any other way. It has to become important.
Vera, they're yelling at me. I got to take a break here, but I love where you're coming from. We're gonna find something that find a way that you can help out. Vera, thank you for calling in. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our friends over on our YouTube live stream. And we're broadcasting the show on YouTube. You can watch us. I hang out with you guys in the live chat in the breaks. Want to say hello to our friends at WQVZ Mission Radio in East Alabama. Great to have all of you folks out there in East Alabama listening to the program. We'll be right back.
Triggering microaggressions from coast to coast. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, real quick here, folks, and we're going to get to your calls after the break here, but our good buddy Mike Lindell now running for governor of Minnesota, and MyPillow, it's been a pretty hard year for him, but it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong, and to show their appreciation, Mike is offering our audience very special Christmas savings. Right now, get this, you're going to be able to get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98. My Slippers, you're going to get a free bottle of leather protectant spray for just $39.98, and a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow, just $14.98. Give them a call, 800-839-8506, or visit MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS, and you're going to unlock these great Christmas deals. Thank you, Mike Lindell. Merry Christmas.
Grandma's Kitchen, where laughter and warm meals mingle. Each bite is a journey through generations. As you gather around the table, complement the meal with Balance of Nature fruits and veggie supplements. Our veggie supplement, made from 15 ingredients like garlic, onion, and cayenne pepper, can easily be opened and added to your favorite dishes, like homemade soups or dips. Not to mention our fruit supplement, which is made from 16 ingredients like banana, strawberries, and mango, making it a great addition to your homemade smoothies. So the next time you gather with family, enjoy Balance of Nature supplements as an addition to your favorite dishes. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Stern. Stand by for news and commentary next.
From Affirm Films and director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story. When John O'Leary suffers burns over 100% of his body, it's a battle for survival. But through the care and support of community heroes, John's resilience leads him to discover what it means to truly live.
The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing. More information is available at soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on Fire. Samantha Fulnecki wrote an essay for a psychology class debunking the idea that men can identify as women. She cited Bible passages to make her argument, but it turns out her instructor at the University of Oklahoma was in fact a transgender individual. Mel Kurth uses she-they pronouns. Samantha wrote she did not believe in transgenderism because God made us to be either male or female, said society was pushing a lie that was demonic and harmful to kids. The instructor said her paper was offensive and lacked empirical evidence. Kurth gave Samantha a failing grade on that assignment, prompting all sorts of national outrage and an official investigation by the university. And they concluded Instructor Kurth was arbitrary in grading Samantha's paper. The university announced the instructor will no longer have duties at the school. To borrow a phrase from President Trump, you're fired. Be sure to read more about this story on my website, toddsterns.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
And hello, everybody. Merry Christmas to you, wherever you might be across America. I'm Todd Starnes, your voice of truth and hope. I was having a fun conversation in the break. We've sort of relaunched our YouTube channel. We've been working with YouTube to try to figure out a way that we could grow our channel, and we had been suppressed for so many years as a result of our content, but they seem to be more open now, so we're willing to give it a shot and wanted to really consolidate our audience. Our audience was sort of, I don't know, balkanized, I guess. And so we want to, and it's going to take a while to migrate everybody over to the YouTube channel, but it's an opportunity for you to hang out. And in the break, I love conversing back and forth. Dylan, we've got a listener, and he literally works up in the tower at a jail and in Georgia, and he listens to the show.
Wow.
So while keeping an eye on the prisoners, I guess. I think that's awesome.
You can multitask there. Yeah, okay.
Remember the guy who called in? We had a guy, wasn't it, a couple of months back, and he listens to us on his cell block, and he's actually a prisoner.
Yeah, he called in. He's like, he called in, and then the automated message started playing, like, do you want to accept this call from this jail cell? We're like, should we? And then we also automatically said yes.
Absolutely. And the poor guy only gets a certain number of phone calls, and he wanted to use that phone call for us.
He was very nice.
I was very honored.
Yes.
Very honored. So anyway, it was just a great conversation, and we had a good time. We had a good time. So all that, who knows, that guy may be guarding the guy that's listening to the show in his cell block right now. All that to say, we got a lot of listeners, and we love all of our listeners. We especially want those that are out of jail, and no, we love everybody. I'm just kidding. Let's go to the phone lines, 901-260-5926. Let's go to Danny in Selmer, Tennessee. Hi, Danny. What's on your mind today?
Hi, good afternoon, sir. There's always something on my mind.
Well, what do you want to talk about real quick?
What I'd like to share, it'd take me just a quick second. There's different ways of looking at things, what you was talking about a bit earlier. There's greed, thievery, wickedry, and self-righteousness, whatever in this world. But I want to break it down to a little simple story, and maybe this will help some people understand what's going on. This is just a story. It's not truth. But I'm in my house. It's a cold wintry day, and I'm in my house. It's nice and warm. Me and the wife and the daughter, we're in the house. It's nice and warm. We got plenty of food and supplies. I notice out there on the road, out here rural, there's a guy shivering in the cold and limping. And I think, I'm kind. I'm appreciative. I always look for the good in people. I want to help this guy out. So I invite him in my house. And we get him fed, get him warmed up, get him washed up. Wife does his clothes and stuff in the laundry, and take an ace bandage, get him all healthy and all that, and take good care of him. And then he kills me, rapes and kills my wife, and sells my daughter and seizes my property. What I didn't realize was that he was an evil, wicked person that had been casing my house and planned on taking it over anyways, just trying to figure out how. And I invited him in just to help him out because I was kind. And that's what we got going on in this country, inviting all these people in and letting them come in. Maybe that's the way to break it down simple and think about it. I don't know.
We're letting a lot of really bad people into our house. Of course, our house being the country of the United States of America. No, I get it. I'm with you.
All righty. I hope that helps somebody.
Danny,
around a little bit.
I think it did, and we appreciate you calling into the show today. Thank you for that. It's a crazy situation where, for I would say, going back to Obama, we've had tens of millions of people crossing the border. I mean, there have been some numbers that we could have as many as 30 million people living here illegally. And when you look at those numbers, it's such a massive number. You don't think about the economic impact that is going to have and has had on this country. By the way, just prepare, because the Trump economy is booming, and it's booming before the big, beautiful bill even takes effect in January. We're talking about the U.S. economy. Are you ready for this? Growing 4.3%. That is the fastest it has grown in 2 years. And people are dumbfounded by this. They can't figure it out. Trump tried to tell everybody this is what was going to happen. And I told you, and if this economy is roaring, we're running and gunning, Republicans win the midterms and possibly a landslide. Even though they're a do-nothing Congress, it's all about the economy. And if we're seeing these results this early, folks, you better get ready. It is going to be a fun, wild ride into the midterm elections. It's going to be great. Let's go to Oregon. Kathy, listening to us on KYKN. Hi, Kathy. What's on your mind?
Hi, Todd. Could I make a suggestion for a guest on your show?
Well, I guess you certainly may, yes.
Okay, his name is William J. Federer, Federer. And he has written a number of books, but the one that I just recently ordered was What Every American Needs to Know About Islam. And I was reading the reviews on Amazon, and there were people on there that they love this book, and they think it should be required reading for high school. But he's done lots of books, not just Islam. He's done things on the American Revolution and stuff like that. Anyway, if you look him up and you know, figure out what he's about, maybe you'd like to have him on your show, because I think he could explain a lot.
Well, you know what, Kathy? We'll take a long, hard look at that. And you know, if we can figure it out and work out the schedules, we'll try to make that happen. I know him quite well. And, you know, I've certainly read his book. So, yeah, we'll take a look at that.
It might be informational to that caller that was in the last hour. What was her name? I can't remember.
We have a lot,
really
but
concerned.
I know. Yeah, Vera from Georgia.
Yeah, she's real concerned, and I think we just need to get educated.
Yeah. Kathy?
Wouldn't it be awesome if President Trump fixed our immigration system so everybody would shut up about it?
I think that it would be the most glorious thing. And here's the thing. Every single illegal that is deported, the economy gets that much better. I mean, that's the bottom line here, Kathy.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas, Kathy. Thank you for calling in.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
All right. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. You know, President Trump, speaking of President Trump, he says you got to watch Newsmax. Everybody's watching Newsmax these days. They're watching it on cable. They're going on the streaming channel, Newsmax 2, downloading the free Newsmax app on the smartphones. Reuters, by the way, says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. That's right, in the nation. So find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. And let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax, real news for real people.
Sane talk in an insane world. Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. You know, you have lots of choices for cell phone service with new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American and believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing quality or service. Worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile uses all 3 major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you'll have as good or better coverage with Patriot Mobile. Think switching is a hassle? Well, it's not. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based team will get you activated in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Stuck in a contract or owe money on your phones? No worries. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program. This is how we win, folks, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar we spend matters. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Friends, here's a reality check. Your biggest retirement expense likely isn't groceries or health care. It's taxes. Add inflation eating away at your dollar, and it's easy to see why so many run out of money. Lassiter Capital helps solve that problem by giving you access to real estate investments designed to generate income, protect against inflation, and provide huge tax advantages. Founder Ty Lassiter calls it the 4 keys to investment success. Visit LassiterCapital.com/Starnes or call 817-912-1569 to schedule your free consultation.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Well, some sad news here to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, and a bit of a bit of encouragement for all of us as well. Many of you remember Senator Ben Sasse, who went on to be, University of Florida, I believe, president. And then then he left and been going through some things. And he just wrote a Nebraska senator. He drove an Uber. Did you know that, Dylan? He drove an Uber, this guy.
I did not know.
Mm-hmm. He was sort of a cool, one of that class of senators when he got elected. It was just sort of a weird, funky bunch. So anyway, Senator Sasse is writing a pretty lengthy note. I'm not going to read it all, but there are a lot of people going through a lot of things, and I think this might encourage you. The senator announced that he is dying, and he's going through some difficult days, and I want to share this with you. You say, Todd, where is the encouragement in that? What are you talking about? Just be patient. Just be patient. He said, this is a tough note to write, but since a bunch of you have started to suspect something, I'll cut to the chase. Last week, I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 4, and I'm going to die. Advanced pancreatic is nasty stuff. It's a death sentence, but already had a death sentence before last week, too. We all do. I'm blessed with amazing siblings and a half dozen buddies that are genuinely brothers. As one of them put it, sure, you're on the clock, but we're all on the clock. Death is a wicked thief, and the bastard pursues all of us. Still, I've got less time than I'd prefer. This is hard for someone wired to work and build, but harder still as a husband and a dad. I can't begin to describe how great my people are. During the past year, as we temporarily stepped back from public life and built new family rhythms, Melissa and I have grown even closer, and that on top of 3 decades of the best friend a man could ever have. 7 months ago, Corey was commissioned into the Air Force, and she's off at instrument and multi-engine rounds of flight school. Last week, Alex kicked butt, graduating from college a semester early, even while teaching Gen Chem, organic, and physics. She's a freak. This summer, 14-year-old Breck started learning to drive. Okay, we've been driving off book for 6 years, but we've got the paper to make it street legal. Wow, I know a lot of us did that. I couldn't be more grateful to constantly get to bear hug this motley crew of sinners and saints. There's not a good time to tell your peeps you're now marching to the beat of a faster drummer, but the season of Advent isn't the worst. As a Christian, the weeks running up to Christmas are a time to orient our hearts toward the hope of what's to come, not an abstract hope in fanciful human goodness, not hope in vague Hallmark sappy spirituality, not a bootstrapped hope in our strength. What foolishness is the evaporating muscle I once prided myself in. Nope. Often we lazily say hope, and what we mean is really optimism. To be clear, optimism is great. It's absolutely necessary, but it's insufficient. It's not the kind of thing that holds up when you tell your daughters you're not going to walk them down the aisle. Nor telling your mom and pops that they're going to bury their son. A well-lived life demands more reality, stiffer stuff. That's why during Advent, even while still walking in darkness, we shout our hope, often properly with a gravelly voice, soldiering through tears. Such is the calling of the pilgrim. Those who know ourselves to need a physician should dang well look forward to enduring beauty and eventual fulfillment. That is, we hope in a real deliverer, a rescuing God born at a real time in a real place, but the eternal city with foundations and without cancer is not yet. Remembering Isaiah's prophecies of what's to come doesn't dull the pain of current sufferings, but it does put it in eternity's perspective. When we've been there 10,000 years, we've no less days to sing God's praise. I'll have more to say. I'm not going down without a fight. One subpart of God's grace is found in the jaw-dropping advances science has made in the past few years. Death and dying aren't the same. The process of dying is still something to be lived. Wow, that is, wow. We're zealously embracing a lot of gallows humor in our house, and I pledge to do my part to run through the irreverent tape. But for now, as our family faces the realities of treatments, but more importantly, as we celebrate Christmas, we wish you peace. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. For to us a son is given. And he signs it with great gratitude and with gravelly but hopeful voices, Ben and the Sasses. Oh, sobering thought, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? We go through so much in life, and when you step back and I don't know, I found myself doing this every now and again, but you really examine what you're doing with your life, the work you do, the contributions you're making to society, your family, and you wonder, have I done the right things? Have I made a difference? What does it all mean? I get calls all the time from people. What does it mean that you have hope? You know, I remember, more than 20 years ago when I had to stare death in the face. And I remember being at this peace. I know exactly what Ben Sass is talking about here. And I am going to pray for him and his family. And I hope you will do that as well. But I've experienced that peace. I know what he's talking about. And you come to terms and you help. Something like this makes you prioritize things very, very quickly. Very quickly. And you understand what is really important. You know, we talk a lot about politics, a lot about life on this show. We talk about a lot of different stuff on this program. One of the things that I always want to leave you with is hope. No matter how bad things are, there is hope. There is joy. And for Ben Sass and all of us, and it's true, we're all on this journey together, every single person living. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't matter if you have a crown on your head. It doesn't matter if you are living in a trailer park. It doesn't matter if you speak English or French or whatever they speak in Australia. It doesn't matter. All of us will breathe our last breath one day. In a way, we are literally born dying. I mean, that's it. The clock starts ticking, and we will all meet our Maker. And the question we have to answer between now and that day, whenever that day is, and no man knows that hour, that's what the Bible tells us, we have to ask ourselves, are we prepared? Like Ben Sass is prepared. And we know Ben Sass is prepared because he has that hope. That's what he's clinging to over these next little while. Pray for Ben Sass and his family. Would you do that? Just make a commitment. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal sale on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNS and you're going to save an extra 10%.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back. Merry Christmas to you, everybody. Let's go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Say hello to our good friend, Republican strategist Josh Jones. Josh, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Todd. How are you?
I'm well. The last time we talked to you, you were heading down to Texas. How did things go down there?
It was a great success. Went really well. It's a good trip, and also it was good to get down south and be a little bit, somewhere that's a little bit warmer for a couple of days right before Christmas. So that was nice.
Dylan was wondering if you wore a cowboy hat, if you were riding a horse, lassoing cattle, anything of that nature.
No, I didn't do anything of that nature. I did ride a mechanical bull, though. So if you can count that, that's probably the closest thing you're going to get to it.
Hey, that's pretty cool. So literally a mechanical bull.
Yeah, we were flying in and out of Austin, Texas. So on the last day, me and a couple of coworkers and some of the people from the client's team did dinner, and they're like, hey, there's this place down the street that has a mechanical bull. So we all went down there and took turns riding the mechanical bull.
Wow. Back in the day, that used to be like the thing to do. What was Mickey Gilley's, I believe, was the was the establishment. And everybody went down there to ride the bull, as they say.
Yeah, no, I mean, and there's for 2 or 3 days afterwards, I would wake up every morning as I was getting ready. It's like, why are my legs sore? I genuinely not knowing why they were sore. I was like, it's because of that bull.
You rode a bull, man. You rode a bull. If you haven't, you got to watch Urban Cowboy. It's a great movie, and it's all based on that honky tonk down in Pasadena, Texas, featuring the mechanical. Did your bull have a name, by the way?
I don't know if it did or not. The place is called Wild Greg, so maybe it's named Greg.
All right, Greg the Bull. The one in Pasadena is called El Toro. So that does strike fear into the hearts.
Yeah.
So look, I'm just curious here. TPUSA coming out right out of the gate and announcing that their organization is going to be backing J.D. Vance. They're going to be doing whatever is necessary to get this guy elected. Was that a smart move to just go ahead and throw in with somebody?
I mean, it really comes down to, the leadership teams of these different organizations because, Turning Point obviously backing J.D. Vance. There's a close connection between the two camps there. But, I mean, number one, we're a political eternity out from the 2028 primary. So a lot can change between now and then. So I think it's a bit risky to put your eggs all in one basket right off the bat. But, hey, maybe it'll pay off. And secondary to that, though, a lot of the time organizations, and this has nothing against Turning Point, but just anybody in kind of that nonprofit, super PAC realm, I mean, we saw this in 2024 of a lot of these nonprofits and super PACs doing this about the same point in the cycle for the 2024 primary for Ron DeSantis, where they were sending people to Iowa 2 years ahead of time, laying the groundwork, and we saw how that worked out. So not to say that it can't have an influence on things, but really it's going to boil down to what's happening in 2028, and we're just too far out to tell.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I mean, we've got a lot of ground to cover, and I would like to see, when you look at experience, I mean, I would say someone like Marco Rubio has far more experience than J.D. Vance does, even though Vance, I think, delivered some great speeches. He's been a great vice president, but the reality is Marco Rubio, I think, has much greater skill set. So if you're looking at those two, I mean, Rubio would probably be my pick on top of the ticket, at least right now, if we were having to make that decision.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you because, look, I mean, the job of the president is very multifaceted. And to your point, I mean, J.D. Vance has done a good job as vice president. He's a good senator, but also you have to have a well-rounded, burst of experience, and you also have to have really strong connections on the Hill, other parts of the government, which Rubio does. And maybe Vance does. He's cultivating those as vice president, but all things to take into consideration as, all that to say, though, we have a deep bench on the Republican side of the aisle. We have a lot of good candidates. Not to say that one's necessarily better than the other one, but we have a lot of good candidates. So we're, in a strong position heading into 2028.
Well, I think so. And I mean, when you look at, for example, Ron DeSantis, I'm still not understanding, Josh, why there is such an aversion within MAGA world to Ron DeSantis, aside from the fact that he challenged Trump. I don't necessarily I think it was a stupid move, but I don't necessarily have a problem with that. And I don't see that as being disqualifying. But why is it they don't like the guy?
I mean, look, simply put, it boils down to the fact he ran against Trump in 2024, and that could have kind of put a bad taste in their mouth. But I'll also go back to remind people, J.D. Vance did not like Donald Trump in 2016. It was publicly speaking against them. Marco Rubio ran against Donald Trump in 2016 in the presidential primary. I mean, that's where the small hands comment came from. To those folks who hold something against Ron DeSantis for running in the primary in 2024, I would say, well, then you can't like Rubio and you can't like Vance either. So it's a double standard unless you have another reason.
Well, I'll take it a step further. At least DeSantis did not write an op-ed condemning Trump in the New York Times or, go on NPR and condemn Trump in some of the most vilest language, which is what J.D. Vance did. And again, I get it. People change. I will point people to the Vanity Fair article, though, of the Susie Wiles article, where she believes that J.D. Vance's conversion to the MAGA way of life is entirely political. I think that's a telling statement.
Yeah, I mean, listen, trust it from the mouth of the babes to a certain extent, right? I mean, she's the chief of staff. She was the head of the campaign. So she's definitely going to have more insights than your typical, political operative or strategist or anybody else for that matter, just because of her proximity to things. And to your point you just raised, people can change and move politically, personally, what have you. But to disqualify, somebody because they disagree with you once politically is, kind of childish in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I mean, early in the early days, I was a never Trump guy, only from the sense that I was supporting, believe it or not, Rick Perry. He was my guy day one. Can you believe that? He was a good guy, though, but he was a lousy candidate.
Yeah. I mean, 2016 seems like a long time ago at this point, but yeah. I mean,
wow.
Personally, granted, I was on the younger side of things then, but I was a Rubio guy to start with, so. And look, Rubio's back, so everything's fine.
Yeah, I was Rick Perry, then Huckabee, and then Ted Cruz, and then, jumped on the Trump bandwagon and, didn't leave it there. I'm sorry I sounded somewhat distracted. I literally just got a text message from Speaker Mike Johnson. And apparently somebody sent him a tweet I had written about him. I will not talk about that on air, but not yet, but wow. The speaker is a little displeased. I'll just leave it at that, Josh Jones.
Yeah, I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah, geez, Lou. All right, so are you back home yet are you back in Virginia for the holidays?
Not quite yet. With kind of how the holiday structure is, today's my last day in the office, and then I'll be heading out tomorrow back home. So I'm going to have to leave early to make it back down in time. But, yeah,
all right.
Duty calls.
Well, I understand. Okay, Josh Jones, safe travels and Merry Christmas, Josh.
Thanks, Todd. Merry Christmas.
All right. Josh Jones, good man right there. Yeah. So here's the deal. The speaker has an open invitation to come on this program whenever he wants, so that we can talk about what's happening in the House right now. And we have extended that over and over again. His staff, and I've heard this from so many people, he'll text me, we'll have these conversations, and yet when it comes to actually coming on and talking to you, and you are the people that he needs to be talking to, you need to be hearing from the Speaker of the House, and yet his staff, they will not allow him to do that. And I think that is a great disservice to the Speaker. But at the end of the day, if you've got people telling you, Mr. Speaker, your comms team, they're not serving you like they ought to. And if you don't do anything about that, well, that is right back on you. So anyway, I'll have to read through in the commercial break what the Speaker is saying. We'll see. We'll see what he has. I hope I don't get audited. 901, I'm just joking. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Honest and true, Todd Starnes.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements. Our ingredients are 16 whole fruits, 15 whole vegetables, 4 powerful fibers, and 12 aromatic spices. It's one irresistible combo.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and she said, "Oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature." So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, "Oh, try it."
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Todd.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right, Todd. I know you've been seeing results with it. I've lost weight with it. It's proven. It's got a huge 86% success rate with 90 days. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better. That is proven for almost 30 years. It's not going to be overnight results with Calitrin. This is not a drug. It's not a stimulant. You're not going to lose 10 pounds in 10 days, but you are going to do it the right way, giving your body back what it needs, turning it back into that fat-burning machine that it used to be. So if you're ready to jump on those New Year's resolutions, stock up and save big with Calitrin today. We've got the Christmas sale on the website, toploss.com, and free gifts with every purchase. Toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I like everybody. Speaker Mike Johnson is a good man, and I think we've established that over the course of however many conversations we've had about all of this. But the issue is getting the president's agenda over the finish line so that we can win the midterms. And I'm telling you, if the economy, the economy's blasting off right now, that's what's going on. The left, they're freaking out. PMS now, they're going bonkers. Nobody knows how to respond to this. So they're going to be trying to grab and claw anything they can to try and bring down this president. They thought it was going to be the economy, and you watch what's going to happen. Who was I talking to yesterday? Paul Shanklin. And we're gonna re-air our conversation with Shanklin. We got so much great feedback from that. Shanklin said the reason why grocery prices have yet to come down is because diesel fuel has not come down yet. And and until that happens, you're still going to have high prices at the grocery store. And that's the reason why. So again, you've got to do your homework. You can't just you can't just take things at face value, right? You've got to make sure you're doing your research. Okay, why is it the grocery prices are so high? And you can, once you get to the answer to that question, you're like, okay, great. So this is not President Trump's fault, but Trump is working towards getting our grocery prices lower. And I believe they're forming a commission. That was the last I heard out of the White House. So all of these things are coming together, and we've just got to make sure that there's nothing that takes us off the message. We've got to keep our eye on the ball. I know I'm mixing metaphors here. Just bear with me here for a moment. But that's what's going on. Oh, I want to play this audio. This Nicki Minaj, New Conservative, cut number 10.
We were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty. If we felt like that as black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Amen. Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Amen. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Mm-hmm. Like, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is wild. And, you know, again, you're going to have the hardcore people that are out there, and that's how they make their money, by dividing us and all of that. I get that. But I think the average person, and I use Memphis as an example. We're a national radio show, but I talk about what I know, and I know Memphis. And when the president sent the National Guard in, everybody thought, oh, there are going to be marches in the streets. People are going to burn down buildings. You know, this. None of that happened. None of it happened. I mean, maybe a couple of dozen people, most of them old folks, old white folks, standing on street corners hollering about, no kings, what time supper? Maybe that. But the average black person, the average minority in Memphis, they're just happy they can go to sleep at night without hearing gunfire in their neighborhoods. You know, the average black homeowners, they're just glad nobody's trying to, do a home invasion robbery. The average black family, they're just happy that their kids are able to walk to school without getting shot at. These are commonalities we all have. And again, they want us to think that it's us versus them, and it's really not. That's why I am so vehemently opposed to Common Core and critical race theory, is because it's pitting the races against each other. And they know, the socialists are not stupid. They know that the live wire in this country is race. And if they can somehow cause division within the races, they're going to have a fighting chance to take over this country. That's really what that's all about. And we can't let that happen. By the way, and we'll talk more about this after the holidays, but this H-1B visa situation, it is out of control. And the idea that American companies are getting rid of American workers and replacing them with cheap foreign labor, that is unacceptable. It is happening, and of all places, the allegations are that FedEx, and there's a lot of reporting out there about FedEx using these H-1B visas to bring in workers from India and fire American workers. People are really upset about this. And I appreciate what J.D. Vance had to say in his speech over the weekend, cut 19.
A true Christian politics, it cannot just be about the protection of the unborn or the promotion of the family, as important as those things absolutely are. It must be at the heart of our full understanding of government. Why do we penalize corporations that ship American jobs overseas? Because we believe in the inherent dignity of human work and every person who works a good job in this country. Why? Why have we worked, without the help of Congress, to restrict H-1B visas, for example? Because we believe it is wrong for companies to bypass American labor just to go for cheaper options in the third world.
And he's right. And again, the H-1B visa. Well, there goes Starnes again. He's just a xenophobe. He's just a xenophobe. We know he doesn't like curry. I actually like curry, and I like tandoori chicken as well. Thank you very much. And that lovely bread, I don't know what they call it, but it like puffs up. It's very tasty. You can slop up the tandoori. No, that's the curry sauce. Anyway, a marsala. No, that's Italian. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I have nothing against Indian people. I got nothing against anybody. But what I'm saying is, yeah, there are going to be moments where we have to hire somebody and bring them in. They're the best and the brightest. They're the only people in the world who can do something like that, which is why we let the guy from Slumdog Millionaire in. It's a good movie director, I think. I don't know. I'm in so much trouble. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Let's just say the most brilliant scientist in the world lives in India, and we need to bring him to America to do something. That person gets an H-1B visa. I know, I just bear with me here. But if you're a marketing analyst at FedEx, you're telling me we've got nobody in this country, nobody on TikTok, nobody on Instagram who can't do that job right here in America? You're telling me we can't find anybody to do that job? I'm not buying that. And again, it may be a situation where the new head of FedEx is Indian, and maybe he just wants to be surrounded by people that that are like-minded. Maybe that's it. But that's not how we do things in America, and that's not how we should do things in America. And I'm picking on FedEx because I'm telling you, it is a massive problem. We see it. We see the change happening in our own communities right now in real time. All right, we got to take a break here, folks. Again, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
From Affirm Films and director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story. When John O'Leary suffers burns over 100% of his body, it's a battle for survival. But through the care and support of community heroes, John's resilience leads him to discover what it means to truly live.
The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing. More information is available at soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
Samantha Fulnecki wrote an essay for a psychology class debunking the idea that men can identify as women. She cited Bible passages to make her argument, but it turns out her instructor at the University of Oklahoma was in fact a transgender individual. Mel Kurth uses she/they pronouns. Samantha wrote she did not believe in transgenderism because God made us to be either male or female, said society was pushing a lie that was demonic and harmful to kids. The instructor said her paper was offensive and lacked empirical evidence. Kurth gave Samantha a failing grade on that assignment, prompting all sorts of national outrage and an official investigation by the university. And they concluded instructor Kurth was arbitrary in grading Samantha's paper. The university announced the instructor will no longer have duties at the school. To borrow a phrase from President Trump, you're fired. Be sure to read more about this story on my website, toddsterns.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. Merry Christmas to you, America. Welcome to the Todd Starnes radio show. I am your host, Todd Starnes, the voice of truth and hope across this great fruited plain. Welcome all. And I tried to get all of this wrapped up in the last hour, but the lovely Miss Susie from Gainesville, Georgia. Dylan, whenever I hear Miss Susie call, I imagine she's like Mrs. Claus, a lovely, white-haired lady, and makes cookies. There's always a fresh plate of cookies.
I was literally thinking she's like taking cookies out of the oven, and then you can see the steam coming off of them, and there's chocolate chip.
Little doilies everywhere.
That's Miss Susie to us.
That's Miss Susie to us.
I'm glad we're thinking the same thing.
At the next book signing, there's going to be a woman show up in a mini skirt, and it's like, hey, Todd, it's Miss Susie. I'm just saying. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, so Miss Susie called, and Miss Susie, let's bring in Paul Shanklin, because Shanklin might have some guidance here. Our good friend Paul.
You're asking me for guidance?
Well, Friday I asked one of our female callers if she was wearing pants. So it's been one of those.
It can't go any lower than that.
Not really.
Not
really. Paul Shanklin, ladies and gentlemen, a great friend of the program, our chief parody writer, our man in D.C., even though he's nowhere near D.C., and, of course, an alumni of the great old Rush Limbaugh show.
Righto.
Welcome, Paul.
And former majority leader in the Senate from time to time.
I'm gonna miss Mitch.
Oh, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of him.
It's tough because you have all these voices that you do,
and then they retire.
And I'm glad the voices are not in your head. Allegedly.
Well, I take things for that.
So we had
they don't hang around forever.
So maybe Barney Fife has some advice for the lovely Miss Susie, because she has friends, family members on both sides of the Tucker versus Ben Shapiro debate. And she wanted to know if she should bring that conversation up during Christmas. I recommended doing it after the presents had been opened. But I wonder what Barney Fife would say about that.
Well, you see, you got your people on the left and you got your people on the right. We all understand that. Then you got Tucker out there, and you got Candace, and Tucker's got that laugh that makes him sound like Cheetah from the old Tarzan movies. And how do you deal with that? I don't know. You just sit there and take it all in, get your share of the food, and then hit the door.
I like that.
He does. He sounds like Cheetah.
He does.
And it's at the oddest times. And that's from me, because I tend to just kind of laugh when I'm thinking of something that's funny versus even saying anything. But he'll just go, "Ah!" And you're like,
and he does that with it's the whole body, the neck thing.
What is that?
Whoa!
But they all have their shortcomings. Candace is a lot crazy, and
she doesn't blink. Have you noticed that?
She doesn't blink.
Her face doesn't move.
It all reminds me of like after Dad is gone, Mom has passed on before, but Dad dies, and they were all getting along. And as soon as Dad's gone, all the old grudges come out, the gloves come off, and the knives are out, and nobody gets along anymore.
So, and this was the dirty little secret, the underbelly of before Charlie was assassinated, and everybody was running and gunning and doing their things. Nobody really got along. I mean, the knives were out all the time.
Right, and grudges. I'm sure all these people have really old grudges, and nobody in radio has grudges, but these people do. That's podcast. That's different.
It's shocking to see how, because you have folks.
I see you avoided that.
I did. No. I was about to. I was
Not Todd
segue.
Starn. Now Todd loves everyone.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean I gotta love them.
No,
I
no.
can like them, but
Yes, well,
you know,
you
look,
love them from a distance, as one of my teachers once told me.
so
I will love you from a distance. You know?
But look, let me just say this. I just have great respect for, like, for example, Clay and Buck. And, we share a time slot. But if I've got a book or something coming out, they're like, come on the show, let's talk about the book. And so that's a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Normally in the noon to 3, you don't want to, give your creditors, any shout outs. And I will say this, Mark Levin, and it really bothers me that they're going after and declaring war on people that have been fighting in the trenches, people like Levin.
Right. And the thing is, and Rush, and you were talking about this earlier, Rush had a broad group of people that were friends and were, and Levin was one of them, but he had, he was friends with everybody. And he liked hearing different views. And I do too. I mean, you were saying, who do you listen to? I listen to everybody. But it's like the Bible says, is question everything. And then it says, hold on to what is good. And so you do that with all information. You're trying to, I want to know what's going on. I don't want to, and you're going to get that from weird sources sometimes. Somebody can be right once. But anyways, Rush always had lots of sources, lots of people sending stuff in, and you wouldn't think these people would ever get along, but Rush get along with everybody.
It does make you, when you watch what happened over at AmFest and the way it was framed is that, everybody's ganging up on Ben Shapiro. Well, no, Ben Shapiro came right out of the gate and just like named names and just like, he didn't say deplatform, but we knew what he was talking about.
Well, it's like marched them out of the movement. And
Yeah.
some people have kind of quoted, Buckley in the 60s and the 50s got rid of the John Birchers because they're crocked. But it's there's not much of anything there that you can say, well, I agree with you on that. It's like a lot of conspiracy crazy stuff. And so, Build-A-Bear and a Build-A-Burger or whatever, all kinds of weird conspiracies all summed up into the John Birch Society. And so, but this isn't the same thing. I would agree with Tucker on probably 90% of what he says. And then there's that 10% that, which is crazy. And like you said, having people on who I just want to ask questions. It's like,
I'm just asking. I'm not saying that's what happened.
Mom, have you ever been unfaithful to your dad? I just wanted to ask some questions.
Just asking.
Just asking.
That's brilliant.
or, well, I could ask a lot of questions like, well, they're worse. But yeah, you're asking the questions and then accepting Nick Fuentes without actually asking. I watched the whole thing. It was like it didn't hit him with really anything.
No.
Like no jabs. There wasn't a jab. It was kind of a nudge. Come on, kind of nudge thing. It's like, no, this guy's a goofball.
Where he blew up Ted Cruz, in that interview. So, but again, we were talking about this before the break. I don't know if you've. I'm a big Dave Chappelle fan. I love his comedy. It's so offensively hilarious. And as I'm watching his
As good
special
comedy
Friday,
should be, yes.
As it should be. I mean, it's really edgy. And I know people are like, "Oh, he attacked Charlie." Well, if you watch the entire, you have to watch the entire show. It doesn't come across like that. But I will say this: when I was watching Dave Chappelle, I kept thinking about Nick Fuentes because whenever I watch Fuentes, I find myself laughing at this guy, and it's almost if Dave Chappelle wasn't a comedian. Would people really be laughing at him or would they be calling him, awful names as well? Of course, I don't think Dave Chappelle likes Hitler, but,
No, and Dave Chappelle is funny.
Well, he is funny.
And Nick, if he's, I'm just saying there's that, it's more of a 90-10. It's like 10% I can kind of get with, and then the other 90% I'm like, oh my gosh.
But
who are his parents? What happened to this kid?
I mean, you worked with Rush. I don't think Rush ever sat down saying, "Oh, I wish I could be more like Paul Harvey." Rush just did his thing.
Yeah, and we there were very diverse views on the staff, and we'd all be throwing stuff into his with Mike, just texting, anyways, but sending stuff up, and
that didn't, I know didn't agree with, either James Golden or anybody else, and, just on different issues, but we're all still friends. It's like, and James will, vehemently get in your face, and he's like, huge guy, and but then he'll hug you. So,
and of course, James Golden is Bo Snerdley.
Bo Snerdley, that's what everybody thinks of him as. I think of him as James. So,
Dylan, we got to give you a nickname.
Well, a rapper name, because you're Nilla.
I am Nilla.
Nilla.
Maybe Wafer.
Yeah, Wafer.
Wafer.
Nilla and Wafer. Yeah, man,
Nilla.
that's cool. Like dueling rap. We gotta get some rap music, and there's not much to it.
And
so
it's Nilla. It's Nilla.
Nilla.
No,
Nilla.
no R. Yeah, don't add the R. That's offensive.
Nilla. Yeah,
Nilla.
that's what I'm saying. Nilla. Nilla and Wafer.
This track is coming really soon.
It's coming out. Yeah, Nilla and Wafer, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We've got the great Paul Shanklin with us, and maybe you have some questions about what it was like hanging with Rush Limbaugh back in the day. Give us a call, 901-260-5926. You want to take some calls?
Sure.
Hey, let's go to Texas. Bob, listening to us on Patriot Talk 920.
Texas, I love Texas. I'm from Texas.
Bob, how's it going?
Hey, it's Jim Dandy down here in Texas. It's a nice and warm weather, cool working weather out here. But, hey, I just wanted to bring up about, the vice presidential candidates, upcoming in the future. I hope J.D. Vance doesn't steal all the glory and the limelight. He's getting all the coverage right now. And the guy that's really doing the groundwork that's taking care of a lot of things is Rubio. Mark Rubio, he's got 3 different jobs, working for Trump, taking care of a lot of business that's a conservative things, and it's like J.D. Vance is just the vice, and he's getting all the photo ops. And it looks like to me that's what's happening, and I think Rubio deserves a lot of the credit. I'd like to see him have a better chance at being the vice president. He has a long history of being a conservative and carrying a conservative movement. And I think he would get in there once he gets there. If he gets the presidency, he would stick with the conservative ideas, whether it's MAGA or whatever you want to call it. I kind of just don't really trust JD that much. He's new to the movement. I mean, he just got shoot into being vice president. He's just kind of streaming along. And I don't know what he would do when he gets in there if he had the presidency. And he did have Trump there to supervise him.
Well, that's an interesting thought there. Hold that thought for a second, Bob. Shanklin, when you look at J.D. Vance, I mean, he'd never done politics. He wrote the book and then became a senator and dropped that so he could run for VP. And meanwhile, Rubio has, we've got a nice long track record with Rubio.
Well, and Rubio, when he was in Florida as I say he was leader, I think of the Senate or the House. Agays, when he was in Florida, and he brought the skills also to the Senate. He's a good legislator. He could get Democrats to go along with even a conservative idea by, he could form legislation. He didn't just, attack somebody for, whatever they had done. So I think both of them are quite capable. Rubio, though, I believe said, "Hey, if Vance runs, I'm for Vance."
Yeah,
he kind of, but Vance has got to listen to Trump for the next 3 years. So, you think you're gonna replace me? You didn't call me. He said, "Eric, I picked you, so Eric is your friend, and you're not being nice to me." He's got a hard row to hoe for the next 3 years.
Yes, he does. Bob, a great call, and it's a great point. We appreciate you calling in. 901-260-5926. Let's go to John in Memphis with a question for Mr. Shanklin. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hey, Todd and Paul. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hey, so I listened to Rush ever since I was a young-minded mush at age 4 in 1992. And so something I wondered, and I don't even think I realized back then, and Paul, I wondered if you ever realized this. Did you ever think way back in the early days of working with Rush that it would ever get as big as it became? Did you ever see that? Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I did. I thought I've been conservative since high school. I was raised a Democrat. I didn't know there was another party, and so I came over with Reagan, and I didn't think there would be quite that same movement because Reagan was a very special person for a very special time, and there hadn't been anybody since then because you think about the elder Bush. Gotta be kinder and gentler. Be kind here on the radio. Don't cause trouble. Don't. I mean, that was kind of where the party was, and that's always been kind of the Republican Party, has always been kinder, gentler. It's more like Unitarians. We're all going to the same place. We just, some of us are taking different roads. We're going a little slower than the liberals. We agree with them on a lot of things, and we just want to get along, but we don't want to go too fast. We want to be gentle. Well, that's kind of where we were, and then Rush came along and said, "No, we need to fight on principles," and then you had to kind of answer to Rush. I mean, even the Clinton White House had people listening. They required them to listen to the show during the show so that the Clintons could respond to whatever Rush was saying. It was huge, and I never knew it was going to be quite as big as it ended up being, but I knew it had influence.
John, great call. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I think that's what I loved about Rush at such a young age, and why I listened all the way through to when Rush passed away. Is like, oh my goodness, like this is something. There's something great about this movement. There's something that's like, it was fun. It was great. There was a gravitas to it that, like, even all these years later, I think there's a big hole missing in the conservative movement of, hey, let's unify around one base. Let's unify around all these things. And man, Rush and you and all of the whole crew absolutely made me love what it meant to be a conservative.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it made it fun and entertaining.
And it was okay. It was okay to be. We weren't stuck in the closet anymore.
Yeah, exactly. John, got to run. Thank you for that. So we came out of the closet.
Well, I was wondering if you're going to pick up on that.
Thank you for that. All right,
I'm here. Yeah, exactly.
Hello, conservatives. You look fabulous.
But nobody ever asked me to shave my legs.
You just look fabulous.
I never was asked to shave my legs.
Do jazz hands.
You could just wear pantyhose.
Well, that's true. They cinch up. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.
The most trusted source for conservative news. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the WASPs. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, look, we've got Ted on the line from Oregon. We're going to ask Ted to hold over. Can you stick around for a little while? We got Paul Shanklin hanging out with us from the Rush Limbaugh Show. Paul hangs with us now, and we're mighty thankful for that. Maybe you have a question about what it was like working with Rush Limbaugh, where Paul gets all the great parody ideas from. Give us a call, 901-260-5926. Again, that's 901-260-5926. Also, just want to remind you that the Todd Starnes Show is available on podcast, and you can download that for free at toddsterns.com. And you can sign up for our newsletter. That comes out every morning, and we don't sell your information. This is just something we do free of charge. Give you an opportunity to read some great exclusive journalism from our team here at the Todd Starnes Show. Again, all accessible at toddsterns.com. Paul Shanklin in studio with us, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/TODD or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, Merry Christmas, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. May I just tell you, our Christmas Day edition of the program, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Franklin Graham is going to be here. Also, New York Times bestselling author Karen Kingsbury and Congressman Tim Burchett. And by the way, we've got Paul Shanklin in studio with us. And Shanklin, it turns out that Burchett, he's a Tennessee guy.
Yeah.
And threw the hottest Christmas party inside the Beltway. 15 minutes long. And he had a peanut butter and jelly bar, and he served Ritz crackers with a Cheese Whiz.
That's good and cheap.
And Mountain Dew.
So none of those guys showed up. They were looking for the shrimp and the steak bits. And
people loved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were in and out. And, I mean, so we're going to talk to Shanklin about how he came up with the idea. He told me that he hates parties.
Yeah.
And you can only handle them for about 15 minutes. So
that works. Yeah, just short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Well, there's nothing like you sit there and then all of a sudden there's going to be we're all going to have a sing along, and it goes
you
5 hours.
The carols.
It goes 5 hours, which I like singing carols, but it's never the ones I want to sing. And so.
But then you got that one person that thinks they're a great singer and they're like belting it out, and trying to do the harmony part. And then somebody wants to do the 12 Days of Christmas, and I detest that song.
The kids do. The kids want to sing it.
I detest that song.
It's right up there with 99 bottles of beer on the wall, which was never finished. Have you ever noticed that when you're on the bus? I mean, eventually that falls apart after 101 or something like that.
Wow. Paul Shanklin joining us, and spent many, many years working with the great El Rushbo, and now we're honored to have him as a part of our team here on the Todd Stern Show. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Let's go to Ted in Oregon, KYKN. Ted, you're on the air with Paul Shanklin.
Well, I think not so great, Rush Limbaugh, because he gave us the second term of Barack Obama.
Oh, Mitt Romney had absolutely nothing to do with that.
No. Rush Limbaugh gave us. Well, here's what he did. A day before the election on the second term around for the presidency there for Obama, was that he came on the radio and said that he and George Bush would not vote for Romney. They were going to vote for Obama. And
that I don't remember. I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think I would have remembered him saying that George Bush wasn't going to vote for him, but I know that Romney whiffed in the debate. He had a chance to bludgeon Obama like a baby seal and didn't. He held punches, and he couldn't complete the pass. He couldn't kick it through the goalpost. He couldn't think of whatever analogy you want, but he just whiffed, and. I don't want to make anybody really angry at me. I want people to like me, but anyways, it just fell apart.
Well, and not only that, but look at John McCain, who had the same issue. He just refused to go. He refused to go down that path.
He's a nice guy. I know he's a communist. I know he's got a weird background, but he's a nice guy. Don't say ugly things about the other candidate.
Well, what was he on? I don't know.
Look, without Sarah,
but he was. McCain was a better candidate than Romney,
which is shocking. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And I remember Sarah Palin on that campaign. If it had not been for her, that would have been the worst landslide, I think, in political history.
Oh yeah,
she saved him from that.
Oh yeah.
So Ted, I'm not understanding.
Made it interesting.
Yeah. So why are you blaming Rush for Obama?
Because he announced on the radio that he and George Bush were voting for Barack. They would not vote for Romney, and that was it. That gave Obama a second term, just enough votes to take him over the top, and then Obama congratulated and thanked Rush Limbaugh at the press gathering they have every year.
I don't remember that at all. I don't either.
I think you had a really bad dream, but I'll have to ask David about that. We'll both have to ask David.
Dad, we'll look into it and get back to you.
Because David would know.
Yeah,
David
Limbaugh. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Ted. Thank you for that call.
Rush would ask hard questions of the candidate.
Sure.
And he'd point out their fallacies, but he never said he was never going to vote for somebody.
There was a documentary done that Mitt Romney, they did a whole thing about Mitt Romney. They had the cameras following him, and it aired after the election. I don't know if you remember that. And people were watching this
trying to
documentary.
wash it out of my ears.
And you watch it, and you're like, well, wait a second. Why didn't they show this? Why didn't they show this before the election? I mean, it actually personalized the guy because he came across as like a weird, robot, a Mormon robot.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing. and you either have the candidate doing that or the people who are advising him, don't do this, be sure and not do that, and just, you'll win no matter what you do as long as you're careful. And, careful candidates just don't win tight races.
Do you think it was a mistake for TPUSA to come out and endorse J.D. Vance this early?
I think for J.D.'s sanity it was, because
okay, J.D., I saw that Erica endorsed you, but I haven't endorsed you yet. It's going to be a really toughie now. I got 3 years to think about it. I don't know.
It's going to be hell for him.
Did you see that? What was
but
it?
It was. It's way too early, and it's like
extremely.
And to he needs to. He's going to have to, if he's he wants the nomination, like you said, he's got to go out there. He's got to win it. He's got to play in the game. The guy can see if he can hit, if he can run the bases. Can he pinch hit? Can he bunt? Can he get a home run? Can he do a lot of line drives? I mean, we want to see how does he play the game. We don't want to just say, oh, that's the next one,
And again, and I say that because, first of all, he doesn't have a lot of experience. And second of all, he has not been at least an America First conservative for that very long. I mean, based on his own words.
I think he was rather questioned. Trump. Honestly, I didn't know the first time around if Trump was just totally BS on being a conservative, because I've heard a lot of people say they were going to be conservative, and this really includes all of the Bush family. Yeah, we're going to get in there. We're going to be real conservative. I'm conservative. Look at these shirts. These shirts are conservative. Anyways, and yeah, Dad, your dad has conservative shirts, and I talk like a Texan, but I vote like a Methodist. Anyway, so how do you know for sure who's going to be what? So first time around, I was like, Trump, I think, is just pulling my leg. He's not going to follow through. I mean, it's all for, and that's okay. I didn't want to be taken in as in, oh yeah, he's the guy. Because that's happened to me too many times since Reagan.
There's a crazy story. I don't know if you caught this. Trump was in the Oval Office. You had J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio there. Trump was behind the Resolute desk. I think it was like last week before last. And Trump stops everything. He was like, hold on. We got to talk about your shoes. And he said that he was really disappointed that Marco and J.D. had he called them ugly shoes.
Very ugly shoes, uglier than Elon's. And he makes his own shoes, okay? They're uglier than Elon's.
So this is what kills me, is apparently...
Spaceman shoes. He wears spaceman shoes.
He had a shoe catalog just handy. Who has a shoe catalog? And he's asking them for their shoe size.
Well, you want to get him something for Christmas. He's spastic at times.
So anyway,
all the time. But as far as reading the conservative movement and doing more, I mean, with every person in politics, you don't get perfect.
Yeah.
You just don't. I don't know. My kids, I've had to point it out to them. Look, if you expect perfect in politics, you're going to be disappointed for the rest of your life. But do you get somebody who can run the ball farther than the last guy? Does he run toward the right goalpost? Boy, if you can find somebody who can run toward the next goalpost and actually make a few touchdowns, you're like, hey, this is pretty good. And that's, Trump is not always conservative, as maybe the party was in the past, but he does pull forward some really good ideas that other people who were, quote, conservative never would touch.
It's a fair point. And I don't think Trump's ever said he was a conservative.
No, he was a Democrat at one point.
He was a Democrat.
And so was I.
Yeah.
So was I. I understand.
So was Reagan.
Yeah.
At one point. To finish the story.
He brought me home.
Vance was going back, and he was recounting the story. So Trump's got the shoe catalog, and he says, guys, what are your shoe sizes? There were 3 people there. So Rubio says, I'm an 11.5. And then Vance says, I'm a 13. And the last guy said that he was a 7. And Trump reportedly said, you can tell a lot about a man by his shoe size. And then he
proceeded to have Melania pick out shoes for all of them.
And he said, we won't ask the second lady for comment on that particular topic. Oh, my God.
And that's Trump being careful.
Oh,
I think.
Very
So,
careful.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Wow. All right.
Well, yes, mistakes were made. And that was just yesterday.
Yeah. But
oh wow.
But like I said, I'm a lot less ever disappointed by Trump on what he does versus George W. Bush and George Herbert Walker, HW. I mean, it's like, or Romney. I mean, they were never going to get close to conservatives after the race.
Never. No, you're right about
get a
that.
return phone call.
By the way, this afternoon, President Trump is going to be addressing the nation from the Oval Office, 4:30. We understand Pete Hegseth, the War Secretary, will be there, along with the Secretary of the Navy. So I'm wondering.
New shoes for all the troops. Melania picked out some very wonderful, beautiful, beautiful shoes. They're going to be very beautiful shoes. I say 1776 on one side and Trump on the other side of the shoe. Maybe just a big T. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You know, we should invite him to run through the T at Neyland Stadium. Would that not be great?
It would be. But then he'll overnight there'll be, Trump's.
He'll have to trademark his own orange, though. We already have our own orange at Knoxville. All right, we got to take a break here, everybody. Paul Shanklin hanging with us, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You're listening to Todd Starnes.
There's a quiet revolution happening in America, and it's not coming from tanks or tyrants. It's creeping into classrooms, corporate boardrooms, and even some church pulpits. Live Not by Lies is a powerful new docuseries by Angel Studios based on Rod Dreyer's best-selling book. It exposes the rise of soft totalitarianism in the West by drawing striking parallels with the communist regimes of the past. Now, the series features brave men and women who live under real oppression. They see the warning signs, and they're sounding the alarm. Now, this isn't a doom and gloom paranoia. It is firsthand wisdom from people who know what it's like to live without freedom. And it's a wake-up call for every American who cares about faith, family, and liberty. If you believe in preserving truth in an age of lies, well, now's the time to pay attention. Live Not by Lies is streaming now only on Angel Guild. Join today by visiting angel.com/Starnes. That's angel.com/Starnes.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Friends, here's a reality check. Your biggest retirement expense likely isn't groceries or health care. It's taxes. Add inflation eating away at your dollar, and it's easy to see why so many run out of money. Lassiter Capital helps solve that problem by giving you access to real estate investments designed to generate income, protect against inflation, and provide huge tax advantages. Founder Ty Lassiter calls it the 4 keys to investment success. Visit LassiterCapital.com/Starnes or call 817-912-1569 to schedule your free consultation.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Crazy world, Paul Shanklin. All right, welcome back, everybody.
Our fault. It's not our fault.
No, we solve all the world's problems on this program.
Well, yeah, we talk about them.
More or less. At least in our minds, we do. Hey, let's go to the phone lines.
But we don't shave our legs.
We do. Look, this is funny. Because one of the reasons I think I resonate with folks on TV is that I look like the average Newsmax viewer, right? And so I don't look like I stepped out of some, fashion magazine. I think people appreciate that.
Well, it's
there's a guy that
fashion.
Yeah, Starnes eats ribs. I can trust him. It is what it is. Let's go to the phone lines. WSIC Statesville, North Carolina.
Yourself or anything.
Not on
TV.
Air. Not on air. I try not to.
You don't want to fit in too much.
That's true. That's
grow a beard like me.
Miss Patty, how are you doing, Miss Patty? Merry Christmas.
Merry politically incorrect Christmas. I'm just saying it. I have it on my lawn. I have a flag that says it. You know what? If people don't like it, you know where they can go, right?
I love this. By the way, Patty, you're on the air with Paul Shanklin, too.
Oh, yeah, Paul, I have to say something. I am so Sicilian from Jersey that we didn't have an Easter egg hunt. We looked for Jimmy Hoffa.
It lasted the whole year long.
He's not over here. Go dig over there. Yeah, go over there. Yeah. Yeah, you can look over in there. That's all right. Go look for it.
Sorry.
Well, that was a great. That was a great impression. Yeah, in the tomato in the backyard.
Yeah, I love putting the orange in and yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what So that's what we did. That's what we did. We didn't do an Easter egg hunt. Pop said, "Go out and find Jimmy right now."
First one to find Jimmy gets,
Patty, I'm curious. Do you guys do the whole the Feast of the Seven Fishes?
Yes, we do everything. Oh my God, we take our tree down after the 5th of January.
So some people actually keep them up, but you know what we used to do back when I was a kid? Dad got transferred down to New Orleans, and we would, our church would gather up all the Christmas trees and we'd burn them. We'd have like a huge bonfire.
Rednecks.
Oh, yeah.
Big time rednecks, yeah. In the swamp. Put in the back of the pickup truck.
The redneck Christmas tree burning.
That's right. Yeah.
That's it.
And being up from, I'm in North Carolina now, and I'm so happy. God bless Trump. I'm going to tell you something. I just paid $2.18 for gas.
Woo!
Wow. Not bad at all.
So it was, I mean, I'm going to tell you, people are going to be in a shock in 2026, Todd. Those tariffs are going to kick in. Everything's going to kick in, and he's right. He said it's going to take a long time. He has a lot of mess to clean up, Todd.
Well, he has, and it's a big problem, and a lot of dumpster fires burning, and I think he's going to get under control. The reality is, it's going to be one thing in the midterms. It's going to be the economy, and if things are humming, and what was it, inflation down 2.7%?
2.7 if you averaged it going forward. So, and that's the inflation. I think in some ways people think, well, all those prices that went up are going to revert. And that was their expectation about inflation. Really, inflation hadn't been in the news forever. And, as a real thing until Biden came along and reminded everybody what hell it was in the 70s. And here, so we're wondering, does it all go back to where it used to be? And it's not.
And Patty, I know the White House announced they're putting together a task force to look into grocery prices because, and again, they will all come down. Theoretically, they're going to come down. There may be some grocery stores that want to keep the prices high, but I think we're going to see them coming down.
They have to compete.
They got to compete.
They got to compete.
Yeah, you're right.
But I want to say something about Paul. One more thing I want to ask you. You know who I love? I love Rob Carson.
Yeah. Yeah, he did some of the early stuff over at Limbaugh Show before I showed up.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very funny, and you're great, and God bless you. And I want to, you know what, you, Todd, everybody, please have a Merry Christmas and safe. Please be safe.
Or else, is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know. No,
you say you're Sicilian. I just want to.
I know.
We promise. All right.
We will.
God bless you guys.
All right. Merry Christmas, Patty. All right. Great lady right there. That's one of the fun things about the show is we get the regular callers, and they become a part of the show.
That's right.
And we're so happy. Patty went through a little tough spell with the health and came out on the other side, and we're so glad for that. But that's really what, it's kind of like a great big front porch.
That's great.
All right. Paul Shanklin, great to have you for the full hour.
Yeah, great to be here. It just flew by.
We're going to get you back on in the new year. So Christmas, big deal.
Well, you've always been,
anyways, I'm looking forward to It's a Wonderful Life. I haven't watched it yet this year.
It's going to be great. And the guy who played Archie in the new rendition of the Archie comic book show they're doing a movie about Jimmy Stewart.
Yes.
And it looks really amazing.
It's a very interesting story. It was his first movie that he made after he got back from war.
Wow.
And he had really been through it. So it's going to be a very interesting life story for Jimmy Stewart.
It is. Paul Shanklin, Merry Christmas to you. All right, everybody, hang tight. Got to take a quick break. This is the Todd Stern Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medishare. Maybe you've heard switching to Medishare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE, 844-43-BIBLE.